Welcome to the RuPaul's Drag Race Recap Show for All Stars 11, Episode 7, titled Athletic Supporter Design Challenge. My name's Joe Batance, and I am joined, as always, by one athletic co-host. He's going to be running a 10K. From the podcast pod is my co-pilot. Please say hello to Mr. Taylor, the Latte Boy. Welcome back, Taylor the Latte Boy.
Bonjour.
Bonjour, madame. Bonjour, ladies. Taylor, you are back from your days at Gay Disney. And
yes.
If you guys didn't want to hear about this, you're going to want to go over to patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia and join the executive tier level and above and listen to Just Between Us Girls, where Taylor likes to keep things PIMC exclusive.
It's my baby. I have to give the big scoops to my main show, my flagship show.
How old is the baby now?
The baby will be celebrating its 20th year in March.
Oh, wow.
We'll have done Pod as my co-pilot for 20 years on March 6th, 2027, which
it must feel
insane.
so good to have like a 20-year record of your life.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's one of the things that kind of keeps me doing it, is that it's very people talk about writing in journals, and I happen to all of my journals happen to be digital and in my, Apple Music.
Speaking of journals, Taylor does go on and on and on about his journaling now over at Just Between Us Girls at patreon.com/afterthought. If you guys wanted a masterclass in how to do a journal, you're going to want to go over to patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia. Taylor, how the hell are you? Here we are.
Home stretch.
We've just passed the half. And I was thinking, it's funny that you're saying home stretch. I'm like, we still have, 5 more episodes of this after this. We barely hit the halfway mark. And nothing really, not to tip my hand a little bit, nothing really emphasized that more than this episode.
Yeah.
And this bracket, I'll be honest with you. I know everybody was hating on Silky and everybody was hating on Selena and everybody was hating on whoever was in the first bracket. I already forgotten. And I'm like, oh, God, this bracket.
You were hating on the first bracket.
Well, this bracket, man, this is like, look, let me just say this. This Kennedie Davenport, as much as I think she is a fantastic fucking drag queen and is very underrated, she's not the most charismatic person in the workroom. And she's the most charismatic person in this bracket. This Jasmine Kennedie tries way too fucking hard.
Yeah, pick me. She's a pick me girl.
I want Sam Starr to try and get the golden goose at the chocolate factory. See her go down that chute, right?
Don't care how, I want it now.
Yeah. And this Sugar Cane, she's living in La La Land, where she said she looks like she's getting younger. I'm all, no, you look good, but you look your age.
Yeah.
And then who else can I bitch about?
Joey J. Everyone's
loving this Joey J. He's fucking annoying. I get homophobic around him.
Well, folks, that was the episode.
Joey J. Bullock. That's a joke only, again, Taylor and I get. Do you want to explain that joke?
Do I understand that joke?
No, do you want to explain that joke to the youngs?
So there was a show on in the 80s, a sitcom called Too Close for Comfort.
Yeah.
And it was starred Ted Knight.
Yeah.
And he was a cartoonist who lived in a house in San Francisco with his wife and his 2 adult daughters. It was, I guess, like a split level house that they lived downstairs and he lived upstairs. And they had a friend named Monroe who was clearly a homosexual.
Clearly.
And he was played by openly homosexual actor Jim J. Bullock.
Yeah.
And it was but spelled J-M.
Yeah, J-M.
J.M., Jim J. Bullock. And he just was on that show, and then he wasn't on anything for a while. And then he oddly did a talk show with Tammy Faye Baker.
Well, then remember after Joan Rivers left Hollywood Squares, he was the center square on Hollywood Squares with John Davidson?
I totally forgot about that, but you're right. Yeah, he was in Hollywood Squares.
Yeah. He's still alive, but he has AIDS.
Yes,
he annoyed
he does.
AIDS. He annoyed the AIDS so bad it left him. But anyway, Joey J gives Jim J. Bullock on Drag Race.
Sure.
Taylor doesn't want to weigh in on that. All right.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to give all the thoughts and agree with everything you're saying, and then we have nothing to talk about.
That what?
I mean, I get that
Taylor?
you said the show is the show, but we're 5 minutes in.
Is the show? Well, you know what? That's all this episode is worth. All right. Well, why don't we do this? Why don't we take a break? When we come back, we'll find a way to say something about this show. You know what? I'll even say this. Let me say this, and this is not a complaint. I'd rather somebody give me too much than too little.
Mm-hmm.
But this super producer Scott Dreyer of our show. When he sends me the outline, it's usually for most episodes, even episodes where we're like nothing happened, it's like pages and pages of notes. This one was like a page and a half. Okay.
Cut to you and I are talking 3 hours from now and going, we have to go.
Yeah, but when we do that, you and I are talking about Marilyn McCoo and
no one has said the name Marilyn McCoo in about 35 years.
Yeah, we're so that's usually when those shows go 3 hours long is what we're talking about, you know. All right. We'll be back right after this. You know what's funny? I was thinking about this during the break. Is the origin of even Marilyn McCoo being in my brain is 20 years ago. 20 years ago, I was in a gay men's group therapy. Okay.
Yeah.
And there was a guy in there who, so the therapist used to do this thing called every once in a while, maybe once every 6 months or so, he would do this meeting called music night. And we had to bring in an important piece of music to us and talk about it, then we'd play the song. And I'd always get in trouble because I'd bring in some silly song. But I did. One time a guy yelled at me and it got really red.
What song did you bring?
There's this Bernadette Peters cabaret number that she does that is it's not even thinly veiled, but it's about female masturbation. And before I played it, I said that this song really got me through some very tough times and stuff like that. I was very emotional about it. Because the song starts off kind of, it's one of those songs that like starts off, it's a silly song, so it starts off kind of serious and then hits you with a joke at the chorus. Right. So in the beginning, she talks about being alone, but then she's talking about being alone because she's going to fucking, finger herself.
Flicker bean.
Yeah, flicker bean. And one of the guys in there, this guy Mike, he got so angry he got red and started screaming at me that I took that this is supposed to be very serious and that he was like actually feeling something and that I ruined the sanctity of this thing and whatever. Anyway.
But then you helped him. See, that's the thing about that is humor can be a therapeutic tool. You were trying something that didn't work for it, but then you allowed him to have a release of his emotions.
Oh, yeah. My therapist, I would say, did a good job in that he just sort of sat there and, explored the emotion. He didn't step in and be like, okay. He let it play out, He guided it.
Yeah.
Anyway. So, this other guy, this is 20 years ago. He came in and he was being serious. And he said that, I can't remember what the emotion he was talking about, but the song he played was One Less Bell to Answer.
That is one of my all-time favorite songs.
It is a great song.
It's a great song. But he kept
talking about how that's how he fell in love with Marilyn McCoo and stuff like that. And even then I was like, who has mentioned Marilyn McCoo? in 20 years, right? And so like it's just so, like that name, and the name is so silly, and like so yeah. Anyway, I always think about that moment. Oh, he broke down crying during playing it, and I was like, but that one was making sense, like
that one does make sense.
Yeah,
that is a very sad song.
It's a very sad song. But I'd be happy. I don't have to cook any more eggs. I hear that it sounds like a positive song. Ugh.
It's the word she says, no more eggs to fry.
Yeah.
I'm always like, who fries that? But I mean, you have like, I always just fried egg is sunny side up to me. So I've never heard it, you don't hear it referred to as a fried egg anymore. So that's a very like of that time lyric.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a great song. All right, here we go. This week, the final group of 6 girls walk onto the main stage ready for what lies ahead. For the Maxi Challenge, the girls must create an outfit out of high school sports gear. I do want to explore this. Why did they keep harping that it was high school? Why couldn't it just been sports gear?
Well, maybe because it wasn't like sportswear. So it was all like cheap. It was all cheap material. Like it was all stuff that, I remember like my school uniforms, like gym outfit, like for like middle school. And it was all that like polyester synthetic shit. So maybe that's why.
On the main stage, Jasmine, Kennedie, and Sam Starr were named the top 2 All-Stars of the week, forcing them to face off in a lip-sync battle for the extra point. In the end, Sam Starr won the lip-sync, the extra point, and an advantage in the competition. Taylor the Latte Boy, name 2 things you liked about the episode and 1 thing you did not.
Well, I always love a ball. I do always love the ball episodes. At the very least, I always love the show. Usually in the middle of it, it's just them all figuring out, like, I don't know what to do. And we did get a little bit of that today. Mm-hmm. So that's one thing that I liked. The other thing is a little different from most people who watch this show. Because I watched this with a group of friends. They come over to the house. We usually go get ice cream, and then we watch the episode. And
then what do you do after the episode?
We all talk for a little while, and then they leave. And I don't have a pool, so there's no pool orgies. There's no.
It's just regular like dry orgies.
Just regular. Yeah, we all go in dry. And most of this group, actually everybody in this that was there last night hadn't seen last week's episode.
Oh, because you were out of town.
Yeah, we were all out of town. So I had said to them earlier in the week, do you want, like, I won't watch it. I'll save it, and then we'll do like a creature double feature. Yeah, and we'll watch last week's episode first, because I had heard something, but I didn't know exactly. I heard something happened, but I didn't know what. Yeah. So, and I knew the parties that it involved. So we all watched that and watched Untucked. So this week's episode was quite the palate cleanser of where everybody is being safe and nice and nobody's being nasty to each other and nobody is, it just was a very, like, it was the little, like, the piece of cheese to cleanse the palate and to, like, make the acid go down in your stomach so that you don't have to deal with all of the discomfort. I'm losing the analogy here, but it just it was sort of like you'll watch the episode after all of that ugliness at the end of the last week's episode and sort of like, okay, well, that was mid at best, but it was fine.
Wait, I want to get a brief take here. So you didn't like the previous episode?
I didn't say that. I didn't like Selena and the way that Selena acted in that episode, and I thought that she was petulant and delusional, and we all talked about how at the very, because we all never as a group watch Untucked, but we're like, well, we're all watching Untucked, right? We were all surprised how much we liked Silky at the end of it, the way that she talked to her and just sort of like explained to her, like, bitch, calm down. Like the fact that she asked her, she said, you could have given me your point. And Silky was like, yeah, but then I wouldn't have gotten to go. Like, you're that delusional that you're thinking that you are such a good queen that everyone is going to give you their points. Fuck off. It just was ridiculous. And the whole peck, like down the aisle, down the line at Aura was just, I would have had a lot to say last week. if I was on the show.
Yeah. And
But this week is like, what I don't like this week is this Sam Starr.
Yeah.
I cannot stand Sam Starr, and I have a feeling she's going to be the one that's going to really, really grate my nerves. I assumed it was going to be Jasmine, but Jasmine wasn't as bad as Sam was as far as the way that she's just such a basic. She's so basic. There is nothing interesting about her to me at all. That's all. What about you?
I'm going to really struggle to think of two things I liked about this episode. In fairness to this episode, here's what I will say. I should preface this whole conversation with. I was very tired yesterday when I watched this.
Okay.
In fact, I realized I have to watch this episode because I'd had an entire day, came home, I was so exhausted, took a 2-hour nap, and I probably could have slept through the night. But I was like, nope, I better get up and watch this episode and at least take notes. And then I'll wake up early and do the script, which is what I did. Yeah. But I was not in the best mood. I wasn't in the right frame of mind to watch this episode and enjoy it. That said, I was working really hard. I was probably working actually harder than I usually do to be open-minded because I was aware of the mood I was in. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so I'm finding it very difficult to have two things to say about this episode, even just in general, two positive things. Kennedie made me laugh. Mm-hmm. I thought she was funny. I've missed her. I really want to stick to this. I don't want to do the one thing I like. Two things I liked. I really liked Kennedie. She made me laugh. And the guest judge seemed like she was really into the episode, which I enjoy when they seem to be really into it.
She was Juno Temple. Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing I didn't like was there's just nothing here. It's just nothing. It's just, I had said on Meet the Queens that I'm very fearful that Mr. Blackstone is going to send us voicemails because of how white the Sam Starr, you got Joey J, you got Jasmine Kennedie, and this is like Mr. Blackstone's dream. Mm-hmm. But it is one of these things where it is, because Sugar Cane is a Latino who thinks of herself as with a proximity to whiteness. So really,
no, there's two black girls on the show.
Who's the other one?
Hershey, which is a problem that I keep forgetting about her too.
But 66% of the show is white or proximity to white. And I think it comes across. It's just like really just boring with no depth and nothing there. And so I think that I don't know. I just think that there's really just there's just nothing here.
I think in theory, the show is the format change that we got last year, mm-hmm. With the brackets and everything works. I mean, we loved last season, and I appreciate that it is that they tried it and they're doing it again. But I don't know how long they can continue doing this format if any of all of the workroom conversations are about who are you going to give your points to, because that's all the episodes are now at this point. Yes. If they did something like group challenges, or when they've done like the duets that they did last bracket, there's at least conversations that are going on about what are you going to write, what are you not going to write. But then it immediately goes to, well, if we're a team, then we're going to be an alliance, right? That means you're going to give me your point and I'll give you your point.
I'm going to take what you said. I'm going to twist it a little bit. So, and I was going to say this earlier. So you and I had a conversation off the air where I said, even though we're already 20 minutes into this fucking episode, where I said, look, the show is the show. We're not going to artificially stretch it out and yada, yada, yada. And
then we talked about Jim J. Bullock and Marilyn McCoo for 10 minutes.
but I feel like the show was doing that. The show was pulling a Nathan Patrick Brown, where they were trying to artificially extend it as long as possible. So they were just like, I feel, now I could be wrong, I was not in the best mood. I kind of feel like the main stage entrances with the clip packages were longer than they usually are. I don't remember each clip package being so long, you know? I felt we had three segments. This is very unusual in the workroom where nothing happened. It's literally them just sewing. A table visit segment where nothing happened. And so I think, what you're saying is you're blaming it on the format. I don't think it's the format. I think it's a problem of story producing. So there's not enough story in these episodes. So the editors are forced to use whatever they can to fill out the time. And so I think it's a problem of casting and story producing. So the queens aren't giving them anything. And so all they can do to find any sort of narrative arc is just fill it with talk about point distribution. And it's fucking awful. It's especially by bracket 3. By bracket 3, it's like you want to throw the TV out the window. Right. You know, you can't hear any more about point distribution, which you know what, to be honest with you, what even makes it more frustrating? With the exception of the previous episode, that being excluded, 99% of the time is just the bottom 4 queens swapping points. So it actually turns up to be a big nothing, you know? Right. It's usually just the bottom 4 queens just swapping points. And so they're talking and talking and talking and talking, all for nothing.
I think there will be something. I think if they continue with this bracket system for the next season, there will be changes to that.
Well, we already know they're in the middle of or wrapping up filming the next season. I think from what we know, I think it is this bracket thing. I don't know. Well,
hopefully there will be changes to the point system in the MVQ, and it'll change, because this is getting painful to watch. Where this is one of those that I have. My co-host, she used to like to watch Project Runway, and I never understood how she would watch the beginning of it and when they announced what the challenge was, and she would just fast forward until the runway. And I was like, you're missing the whole show. She's like, that's the only part I'm interested in. This is becoming a show where if we weren't doing this, I would want to fast forward through it and just get to the runway at this point.
Oh, you could 100% do that with this show. Now, yeah, 100%. You know, like for instance, you were talking about how you and your friends watched Untucked. Well, when it said, "Oh, Untucked's gonna be good," I just forwarded to the part when they go to after the episode, and I told Robert, I go, just watch the last 7 minutes, you know, and that's what he did. And it's like you can do this with this episode. I mean, I guess just for you, let's assume the person knows nothing going into this. Watch the main stage entrances, which that's crazy, but jump to the runway. Yeah. And then jump to the lip sync. You could watch this whole show in 10 minutes.
Yeah. Which is not good.
No. And especially with this bracket. See, like in the second bracket, Selena and Silky, and was there anybody else? But they made it watchable. You know, they were compelling television. Whether you hate them or like them or whatever, they were compelling television. Bracket 1 had some compelling television. Morgan McMichael's, believe it or not, is good television. Right. So is the Ladybug one, Morphine Love Dion, and there are a couple of good. You just need like 2 or 3, right, to be good television. This one, Kennedie's the best one, and she's not known for being great TV. You know, she's great TV when she's performing, but but in the workroom, it was, and you can see Jasmine and Sam desperately trying to have their moment, so to speak, and it's just
this is your moment.
I was reminded what an annoying piece of shit Jasmine is. You know.
I think she's better this now than she was on her season.
She was worse in her season?
I just remember her being like super, where she was constantly crying, and she was constantly, when she would joke, she would like throw her head back and it was all mouth. And I just remember her being like horrible to watch, but now she's living more authentically. So sometimes when we do that, we're more comfortable in ourselves, and we don't feel the need, the overwhelming need to perform when you get to be who you want to be. So maybe
you're doing a very generous take. You're doing a very generous take. And I'm going to be, this is going to sound not progressive, but it's very progressive. To me, if you say you're a woman, you're a woman. And I just move on. Right? That's like, okay, you're a woman. I believe it. God bless you, blah, 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 blah. But on that same token, I'm like, okay, we're your woman now. I believe it. I buy it. You're 100% woman. But that doesn't now afford you, in my book, special privileges and passes. And I've had people tell me, I was talking to someone the other day about the upcoming bracket and Jasmine Kennedie. And I started to say, this is before I seen the episode, she's really annoying. And like, we're not going to insult the doll now. And I'm all like, I will if she's annoying.
Yeah, no, we can. I wasn't saying that as an excuse for that. I was just saying that maybe I found her she seemed more comfortable in her own skin. So while she was definitely doing the pick me, it wasn't the overwhelming of where everything has to be this big dramatic moment. It felt like she just wasn't as grand as she was on her season.
Do you know about this Tyler catastrophe? Do you know that drama? I'm not going to get into it. The lore is so deep. Lori and I were planning to do a whole podcast series on Tyler catastrophe. It has not come to fruition, but I'm not going to get into it. The lore is too deep. But Tyler catastrophe is this man on TikTok who just is the definition of cringe. The term people often use is a lol cow, right? I'm not going to get into that either, but it's just so fucking cringe. Okay. I can't get into it. Okay. And recently, it's kind of died down, but for about a month there, he was the complete subject of ridicule all over TikTok. There were so many videos about him, blah, 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 the stuff he was doing. And some of the videos I saw were very accurately saying that what they loved was that everybody was coming for him for how cringy he is, for how awkward he is, for all these other things about him, right? But not one person ever attacked him for being trans, right?
Okay.
And that's how I feel about Jasmine Kennedie. In fact, Jasmine Kennedie and Tyler Catastrophe are very similar to me in that they're both very cringy, and I just don't like her. If you were to tell, like, you hated Sam Starr, Sam Starr doesn't bug me as much. He does bug me. Don't get me wrong, right?
Yeah.
Bugs me, right? This Jasmine Kennedie makes me want to turn the TV off.
Okay. I don't. Well, no, I guess with Sam Starr, if it was all Sam Starr all the time, I wouldn't watch that show.
Well, you know what? You're lucky with this bracket. I'm not lucky. You're not lucky. But where we're lucky with this bracket is if you're just a casual viewer, you could watch this and be like, nope, I'll come back in a few weeks and just see who's in when they merge, right? I'm not going to do this,
Yeah.
And, but we can't do that.
We're not afforded that luxury.
No, we're not. All right. We did kind of go, let's just do a brief one sentence thing here.
Okay.
On the main stage entrances. First one in was Sugar Cane. Thoughts?
I mean, I liked Sugar Cane on her season. I think she looks good. You said that she's aging well, and I would agree with that. I could not tell you what she wore on the main stage when she first came out. She's not memorable, unfortunately, in that way.
Sugar Cane is, look, and this is true for anybody, and I will be very careful here. Anybody. But to me, when we actually saw this in one of the other brackets too, I don't remember who. But when you come in, Aura Mayari, okay? When you come in and all you do is harp about one thing, that to me tells me you're not worthy to move on. Okay. And so all she fucking talked about was how good she looks and how young she looks and blah, 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 blah. Okay.
Okay.
One, like, don't get me wrong. She looks really good. She's very handsome, very attractive, looks like the typical fucking rich gay at a white party. Okay. But looks good for her age. Does that make sense? Like, well, oh, wow, you're 50. You're a great looking 50. Right?
Thank
I don't
you.
know how old she is. Yeah. I don't know how old she is, but I think she's in her youngest mid 40s, but I think 50 is a closer one. Right. And looks fantastic. Oh, Taylor's doing the research. But yeah. Okay.
She's 49.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
It looks great for 49. Yeah.
48. She's November 20th, 1977.
Okay. So, yeah, it looks great, but looks like a very handsome person in their mid to late 40s. You know? And there's nothing wrong with that. Looks fantastic. Very, very daddy material. Can probably go into any gay bar and get whatever boy he wants and blah, 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 blah. Okay? But anyway, even if she looked 30 or whatever. Oh, I started this conversation on one of the shows with Robert. I never finished it. I was talking about Raven. Where I saw Raven on the runway for Stop That Train or whatever. And I just kept thinking, because I think Raven's only in her early to mid 40s or maybe late 40s. And she looks a mess. And I just remember her thinking about how her oily skin made her look young. Right? Remember, she's like, in season 2, she's like, I'm 30 and I look 22. First of all, she looked 30. Right? But, and I don't blame, I think what it is, I think there's a trade-off when you are a nightlife entertainer and you're up all night. You know,
Yeah.
I think that wears on you. Anyway, Sugar Kate. Oh, what I was going to say about Mayari, she came in. All she was talking about was how she won that stupid Golden Girls challenge, group challenge.
Right.
And it's just like, girl, if you're only harping on the one thing you think you're good at, you're not destined for this world. If that's all you talk about. So if all you talk about is one thing, it's not good for you. Sam Starr came in. Do you have any thoughts on Sam Starr? Take a latte boy.
Love Sam Starr.
Yeah. Well, then you're like Mr. Blackstone.
Right. No.
You know, Sugar Cane actually looks what I imagine Mr. Blackstone to look like.
I can see that. I can definitely see. I pictured Mr. Blackstone if Sugar Cane was maybe 20 years older. Still striking, still handsome, but definitely maybe a little more leathered skin.
Yes,
with
100%.
Yeah. No, Sam Starr to me is about as basic as you can get a drag queen to be. That there is nothing. She is middle of the line to me.
And I'll be honest with you. Someone said something on Reddit, and I don't necessarily disagree, but they're speculating. No one knows this. We don't know. That Sam looks like the kind of person who drives to St. Louis once a month to get their haircut.
You're horrible.
I don't know. There we go. Next, we have Hershey Liqueur Jeté. Your thoughts here?
I don't have many thoughts because I keep forgetting she's on the show, which is not good. I don't dislike her. Let me put it that way. But I don't. I'm not necessarily rooting for her either. She's just kind of there. Like she talks about the fact that she basically bought an outfit that she wore on the runway, both the pants and all that kind of thing, and for when she was eliminated, and that she's the pork chop of her season. But I just kind of don't. I don't really have anything.
Yeah, there's really nothing to her. I have a bad memory for this, but I believe there is someone close to the show, maybe a host, a former host or something, that knows her. But I have a vague memory of that. It could be, I could be mistaken. I think Alex Lefebvre, I know Alex Lefebvre, former afterthought, now a big fatty devotee. No one knows who we're talking about, but
I was gonna say. Well, I was going to make a joke, and then I decided, no, it's probably not good to make the joke. But
she knew a former Drag Race contestant, but I don't think it's that. Anyway, yeah, I have nothing to say. In fact, the only comment I have here had to do with a correction to RuPaul said when she said, take the 405 to the 210. And I said, those freeways don't meet. Would you think RuPaul would know that? But she's probably just talking in the moment, you know?
Right.
But those freeways they run parallel to each other and don't really ever meet. And they're like in two different parts of the state. It's very strange. Okay. Next, we have Jasmine Kennedie. I've given my thoughts on Jasmine Kennedie, but I don't know if you...
No, I kind of gave my thoughts too. She looked great. I mean, you know, all decked out in her jewels and with her tits out and all that. So, you know, she was very proud of her body. She should be proud of her body. She looks great. But that's about all I got.
Joey J.
I remember having a huge crush on Joey J their season. I thought Joey J was super, super cute. And Joey J is cute. The whole I'm the first gay contestant on Drag Race thing, it got real old real fast.
Yeah.
It felt like that was talking about the whole thing of the I won the Golden Girls challenge, the or my RA thing that you just mentioned. That seems to be Joey J's shtick. And I was very like, okay, I don't know. And for some reason, the tattoo on the shoulder with the red ink freaks me out. I don't know what it looks like, cuts to me, or it looks like burn marks or something. So every time it kind of appears, I get focused on that versus focused on the queen that is Joey J. But I mean,
I thought Winona adopted her. Okay.
Oh my God. Okay, back in the 70s, everybody, there was a sitcom called Good Times. And one of the episodes, Janet Jackson was on it, and she was like, she couldn't have been more than like 6 or 7. She was probably a little bit older than that. And she was being raised by a foster mother in the projects that they all lived in. And the foster mother physically abused her with a curling iron or a regular iron.
I think it was a regular iron.
Where she like burned her arms with them if she thought she was being bad. So Willoma, who was like the sassy neighbor, she eventually adopted her when she found out that that Janet Jackson was being abused. That was a deep cut. I had to think. I thought you said Winona, like Winona Judd. I'm like,
I thought her name was Winona.
Judd? No, it's Willoma.
Willoma. Okay.
Yeah.
Now this is my imagination, though. But maybe I'm wrong or right. In my imagination, because that could be just me as a racist little kid. But did Willoma sing the theme song?
No, I don't think so. Let me see. Give me a second.
Or the theme song to the Jeffersons? In my head, Willoma sang one of the theme songs for the black shows. But Taylor's doing the research right now while he looks it up. But I could have been just a kid who just thought she seemed like a woman who would sing the theme to Good Times.
Mm-hmm.
But Taylor's looking it up right now.
Who sang the theme song for the Jeffersons and the Good Times? Janet. Oh, wait a minute. You're right. She did.
Oh.
Janet Dubois co-wrote and sang the song for the show The Jeffersons. She also played Janet Jackson's mother on the show Good Times.
There we go. I knew she said. I was like, I thought I imagined it, and there you go.
No, it was the cast of. Somebody asked, did the cast of Good Times sing the theme song? It said it was sung by Jim Gilstrap and Motown singer Blinky Williams with a gospel choir providing background vocals.
There you go. Speaking of
so
sassy
you were racist adjacent.
Yeah. Just like, yeah, we're racist adjacent. Speaking of racist adjacent and sassy black women, Kennedie Davenport.
That was the most disappointing outfit that she came out in. Where it looked like one of those like bathing suits that looks like a naked man's torso. Like, but it's like
it kind of was sort of based on that. Not based on it, but it was. I don't think you're wrong.
It just was. It looked like this is your third time on the U.S. All-Star show.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, this is what you're showing up in? Mm-hmm. Now, the hair and the makeup looked great. I will say that. But everything from the neck down was a huge disappointment. But I love Kennedie, and I I want Kennedie to go all the way. So
Oh, yeah.
I was a little underwhelmed by that.
All right, here we go. Let's move on now to the show. In the workroom, the girls get out of drag and get acquainted with each other before choosing the materials they will use for the challenge. It's a design challenge. The queens will use high school. Again, I don't know why that'd be high school. High school athletic gear. Why couldn't it be college? High school athletic gear to create winning designs on the runway. Next, RuPaul entered the workroom for some table visits. Sam plans to be more authentic. Sugar wants to play a fair game. Kennedie intends to show another side of herself. Joey J invented wigs. Meanwhile, Jasmine hopes to snag a win for the first time. It's runway day and the girls get ready for the runway. Sugar started all over. Jasmine gives Sam a whistle. Finally, the girls talk point distribution strategy. All right, now let's go back, take it piece by piece. I'm going to do something strange here, Taylor, which I think you'll be fine. There were 3 separate workroom segments without RuPaul. Okay, there was one, then they went to go choose their material, then they came back to the workroom and sewed, then they had the table visits, and then went back to the workroom some more to sew. I want all the workroom material minus RuPaul. Let's do all that right now.
Well, I think there was probably the idea. You asked a couple of times why high school versus college.
Mm-hmm.
I think because college sports have become where they're sponsored by major brands, and that they tend to be a higher quality versus high school stuff. So maybe that's why she kept focusing on high school athletic apparel.
Okay.
But I also think that's a theory. I don't know. However, I think that there probably was going to do more with because there was the one thing where they said, attention students, you have to be to your next class or whatever to go get the supplies in the next, minute or something. So I'm wondering if that they were going to do more with that and then ended up not doing anything where like Michelle came over the PA system.
Yeah. I don't know.
So talk to me a little bit about what is your experience with jock straps?
0. Why would I have any experience with? I feel like this is Taylor. What is your experience with jock straps?
None. And that sort of is one of those things that I don't know that I know anybody that's like that had to wear one in high school. But they always make a big deal about I
don't know what they're for. If I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, I don't know either, because I guess they just sort of, but they don't protect other than if you were to put a cup into it.
You know what? Hold on for a second. Let's call a straight man and find out. Let me see if he answers. Keeping your head above water.
Temporary layoffs.
He may not answer. Quick question. I'm on the air right now. You're on the air. What are jock straps for? Legitimately, like what are they for?
As a former baseball player, jock straps are what you wear. It's like the underwear that you wear that the cup can go into to protect your junk.
But there's no other purpose for them. Do other sports wear them?
No, I don't think so. I don't know of any other
football
sports
players wear them.
Taylor says football players wear them.
Oh, they might. It probably depends on what position you play in football.
So the whole point is to put like a plastic covering and protect your junk.
Well, you can do. So in baseball, you're going to use a plastic covering because the ball is very hard.
Yeah.
In other sports, there are softer ones you can use that are the plastic one is not comfortable to wear. And so in baseball, if you are not in a position where you're likely to get hit in the nuts with, then you might not wear the plastic one. There's like cloth ones. That would almost be like a padded bra. And you can wear those. They're a lot more comfortable. So I wouldn't be surprised if certain football players, depending on the position.
And I have one more question before I let you go. When you were playing baseball and using the jock strap, did you find that the jock strap made it easier for you to penetrate your other teammates?
No, I guess not. You have to move.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye. That was Adam Vaught, everybody.
I assumed that's who that was.
Yeah.
Do you find jockstrap sexy?
No, but I had a good friend of mine who that was like a major turn on to him. Does not do it for me.
No. I own one. I do own one.
Oh, interesting.
But I don't own like an athletic one. I own like a sexy time one, and it's not attractive one. So I tried it on once and went, nope. And it sat in the back of my drawer. But I think you have to have the right butt for it to help kind of, because I know it sort of like lifts the butt, but you have to actually have some meat back there. And I have an old man ass, so it wasn't what I was hoping it would be.
All right. Any other thoughts on the workroom?
No,
it was just stuff.
It was just them doing, well, if we're in an alliance and I'll give you my point and you give me, why are you all assuming you're going to lose? That's the question that I have. Why is it that just sort of, I hope I'm at a place where I don't need that? I mean, Kennedie kind of was saying that, of where she basically was saying, I'm not doing any of that. Sugarcane, the older queens seem to be the ones that are just like, I want to see what's going on before I start saying I'm going to hand out points to anybody or asking people for points, that sort of thing. Because, at that point, nobody knew who was going to win or who was going to lose while they were all still making the outfits. It's a very defeatist attitude.
That's okay. That's good. I'm going through I have 3 separate workroom things. We already talked about the first one. Joey J. Oh, no, I do have a comment here. Did you notice there's a point where Suga's ripping the seams on something and she has her little like spectacles on and she looks so Geppetto old man when she's doing that. Okay, Joey J.
I did not notice that.
Joey J used the word invocalize, and I had to pause to see if this was really a word, and I think he meant, and being the most generous, just vocalize. But invocalize is not a word. Invocalize is probably what the En Vogue tribute band is called.
Invocalize.
Invocalize. And then those are all my workroom notes, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not much to it. All right. For table visits, do you have any thoughts on table visits?
I was surprised how much Rue was into Joey J. As far as everything Joey J said was very funny and doing the cackle laughing, and
that's not shocking.
It was a little much.
It's not shocking me because Joey J has become like this Reddit darling where they just love Joey J and they sort of mythologize Joey J, probably a little bit like they've done to Robbie Turner. And so I'm sure look, RuPaul didn't remember that Ginger was on All Stars. Okay. So I'm sure RuPaul had no fucking idea, but a producer said, oh, the Reddit loves her because she's the first gay, blah, 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 yada, yada. Gave her all the lore. So she figures if I want to be popular, then I have to like this. If I want to be down with the youngs. Any other thoughts?
Nope.
All right. It's we already did it. Now runway day when the girls were getting ready and point distribution and blah, blah, blah.
That was where they were all kind of jokingly leaving each other a little bit. That was fun. I like when they do that, when everybody's teasing one another but we're all on an equal playing field. Mm-hmm. That to me, those are moments that I enjoy. And I feel like we all laughed at something someone said, but I can't remember what it was.
I'll tell you what I laughed at. She's saying that she wants her and Joey J to have the top 2 slots going forward. And I'm like, oh, that's really cute that you think that is anyway is going to happen.
Shape or form.
Yeah. All right. Well, then let's talk about this runway, the Athletic Supporter Eleganza runway. Any big thoughts on the runway? You usually have a lot of thoughts on the looks.
The one that I understand, I think I understand what Kennedie was trying to do. Mm-hmm. It looked horrible. Like the way that was put together was just not good, especially when you compared it to some of the other outfits that came down the runway. And the fact that they were talking about her being in the top 3 was, we didn't understand it. The one guy that comes over, he had mentioned the fact that her hemline or the pockets on the back of the skirt weren't even. Like everything was just kind of off, and the shoulder pad things, like one was hanging off the side, and it wasn't. They made a bigger deal about the color scheme than they did about the execution of the dress, and that was one I didn't get. I did think Jasmine's was awesome. She deserved to be in the top 2, and I mean Sam, that was a pageant gown, and which is not surprising for Sam. And I thought that one was pretty well executed as well.
I will say Sam was the only one in my brain who made an outfit, who designed and made something. Even if you like Jasmine, there really wasn't much to it, right? And that was sort of the intention, right?
Right.
She's the only one that made an actual outfit. So that said, I hated all the outfits. I hated every single one. Now, were there ones that were the least offensive to me? Sure. Sam and Jasmine's were but I did not like any of these outfits. These are not really crafty queens. I know Sam is. But yeah, I didn't really like any of the outfits.
Yeah. Hershey's was horrible. Hershey's was embarrassing.
They were and they had to be nice. Who was the one that you could, I think it was Sugar. Like you could see like this unfinished, like
right.
I was like
just shy of like frayed edges on the side.
Yeah. It was awful. And they were like, oh, well, they were being so nice. All right. On the main stage, Jasmine, Kennedie, and Sam Starr were named the top 2 All-Stars of the week, forcing them to face off in a lip-sync battle for the point. The song, If You Were a Woman and I Was a Man by Bonnie Tyler. In the end, Sam Starr was named the winner of the lip-sync and earned herself an extra point. Taylor the Latte Boy were the right 2 queens in the lip-sync and did the right queen, or in the top, I'm sorry, and did the right queen win the lip-sync?
The right 2 queens were, yes, and there was some controversy in our house as far as who won the lip sync. I think Sam did win the lip sync, whereas everybody else thought that Jasmine won the lip sync. But we all kind of hated Sam, so I think that's why everybody thought that Jasmine won the lip sync. Also, interesting factoid. Do you know who else has sang that song?
Yes, Marilyn McCoo.
No.
Oh, who?
RuPaul.
Oh, really?
That's on a RuPaul's second album. Second album? Second or third album. Not Supermodel of the World, but the one after that. Because when it was on, I knew that was originally a Bonnie Tyler song, and I kept thinking, like, who else do I know remade this song? Mm-hmm. And then it hit me this morning. I was like, oh my God, RuPaul did that. I'm surprised that they didn't use the RuPaul version instead of the Bonnie Tyler version.
Interesting. I didn't know that. With Taylor coming in with the facts.
Yep. So what do you think? Did the right 2 queens lip sync and the right one win?
Right 2 queens lip sync and the right one win. Yeah, I do actually. But with a caveat. Right 2 queens in the lip sync for sure. I wrote this down, and this is probably the first time, because usually even the most banal lip sync, I'll have some thoughts or something. I had no thoughts on this lip sync. Again,
it wasn't a good lip sync in any way, shape, or form.
It was the white people mayonnaise sandwich of lip syncs. Like, I was like, I don't know. I'm just watching there was nothing there. And again, like I said, even on bad lip syncs, I can go like, well, this one edged it out or that. Nope. I was just like, whatever. They're both giving the most basic, bare minimum ever.
Yeah.
So, all right. Any other thoughts? Anything we're missing there, Taylor?
No. I think we're good.
Yeah, this is be one of those episodes that in like 2 years, I'll for some reason here, I'm like, I have no memory of recording this episode. I have no memory of talking about this. I don't remember this episode. I don't remember anything. And that's going to do it. You
won't remember this episode, but you'll remember that Janet Dubois sang the theme to the Jeffersons.
Somebody wrote in, and God bless them. I hope he didn't think I was too rude. Somebody wrote in, and it was very nice. They said, does anybody know the episode where Joe used to do that high-pitched voice for Ross Matthews and would do this bit and stuff? And he goes, it makes me laugh. I want to listen to it again. And I told him, I said, he wrote me privately. I said, you better go on Discord. I said, I have the worst memory for this shit. And I am the last person to, I don't know. I don't remember doing that.
Oh, I remember you doing that. You did that. And you had a Carson voice for a while that I hated when you would do it.
And it wasn't like, hold on for a second. Because I haven't had this but it wasn't anything like.
I wasn't like this, right? I was like.
No, it was kind of like that.
Oh, okay, like the hilarious Ross Matthews. You know what this is, you know that thing? You know that thing when you are. I can't think of what would be the situation I would be talking about. Who? Give me one of the girls.
Jasmine.
Oh, Ross is going to get in big trouble for this one.
That's why I said Jasmine.
You know that thing when you go, you leave the country to get a nose job, but you don't think anybody knows. So when you come back, you're like really just doing every position with your face so that everyone notices your nose. I remember my cousin, briefly, a cousin of mine, not Richard, actually Alex, if anyone listens to the Pick Crew, you would know. He worked for an optometrist years ago, and he goes, hey, we have some colored contacts that we're going to get rid of. Do you want them? We'll come in and we'll do this thing. So I went in and I got blue contact lenses, right? And everywhere I went, I was like eyes wide open, like wanting everyone to see how blue my eyes were. It's kind of like that. Like Jasmine is kind of like this, and like sticking her chest out extra and like, wonking it I'm like, okay, girl, we get it. You bought some boobs. We're fine. Okay, good. Good for you.
Congratulations.
Was Ross Matthews like that?
More so the part where you did the real high pitch. I remember it being sort of like that. I actually hoped when you started telling the story about the contact lenses that you just forgot that you had kept the volume on and that you were going to I was not going to say anything until the show was over, that you were just going to do the ending of the show with a real high-pitched voice.
Well, I hear it in my headphones. That's going to do it for this week's episode of RuPaul's Drag Race Recap. Be sure to join us next week and every week, because it's kind of a thing when you continue to discuss, dissect, and deconstruct each brand new episode of RuPaul's Drag Race, All Stars Season 11. So it's kind of a thing when Fortado's the Latte Boy and myself
sashay away until next week.
This is a Monday.com ad. The same Monday.com helping people worldwide getting work done faster and better. The same Monday.com designed for every team and every industry. The same Monday.com with built-in AI, scaling your work from day one. The same Monday.com that your team will actually love using. The same Monday.com with an easy and intuitive setup. Go to Monday.com and try it for free. Yes, the same Monday.com.